Tonight's video is Chapter 8, Lesson 4, and we are still factoring, even more factoring. I don't know what this one's called, but we're still factoring. So let's look at this purple example. This plus sign says that the signs will match. This plus sign says that they're both going to be positive. So I'm going to write x plus and x plus. What's new is we have a coefficient, not a 1. Non-1 coefficient, something other than 1. How do I make 7? Well, my only option is 1 times 7. Since these are both pluses, it doesn't matter where I put the 1 and where I put the 7. And, math people don't even really write the 1. Okay. How do I make 4? Well, it's either going to be 1 times 4 or 2 times 2. So I'm going to write both options. I'm going to write 1 and 4. Oh no, I got more options than that. Holy cow, because look, I could put the 4 here and the 1 there. Okay, let's do it with the, and the 2, there's only one more option. Okay, x plus 2 and 7x plus 2. So if I was doing this in pink, they would be pink. There is no way other than guess and check. You might be right the first time you guess and check, but this one, there's not as much strategy. It's going to be a lot of guessing. So if I have my factors of 7, only 1 and 7. Factors of 4, but the 1 could be here and the 4 could be there, or vice versa. 2 and 2. Now I just have to O and I until I get 29. So let's O here and I. Did I get 29? No, I didn't. Okay, let's O and I. Hey, there we go. So that's my answer. This one, if you just want to know, 2x plus 14x is 16x, so that one didn't work. So you may need to invest in a good eraser or write them several times, but you're going to try, for sure it's the stuff in blue, for sure. The stuff in pink is all of our options, and there's no shortcut other than sticking them in, trying O and I, see if you get this middle term. All right, let's look at this one. The first sign say they match. This sign says they're both going to be plus signs. How do I make 5? 1 times 5. How do I make 6? 1 times 6 or 2 times 3. So now let's write all of our options. I know I'm going to have 1x and 5x. I know I'm going to have a plus and a plus. Now I'm going to switch to a different color. Should I put a 1 here and a 6 here? Should I put the 6 here and the 1 here? Should I put a 2 here and a 3 here, or a 3 here and a 2 there? Well, remember I have to get 13. If I do 2 times 5, 2 times 3, or 2 times 6, 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 6 is 30. I don't think I should put a 6 here because I don't think I can get back down to 13. I'm thinking 2 or 3, 10 or 15. But since I'm not doing any subtracting, I think I'll go with putting the 2 right there and the 3 right here. Outer is 3x. Inner is 10x. Boom, there we go. We kind of logically thought it through. So sometimes you can use some strategy so that you don't have to write every option. All right, let's look at this example. They both match. They're both going to be positive. There's only one way to get a 5, but there's 1 times 8 and 2 times 4. So there's 2 different options to get 8. So here's what I say. Well, let's start with this 5. So I'm going to put the 5 here with the plus. 5 here with the plus, because that's not going to change. Why am I putting 2 5s? One of them has to be a 1. 5 and a 1, 5 and a 1. Since they're both plus signs, it doesn't matter where the 5 and the 1 go. Okay, I'm going to have x's in front front of here. What I don't know is, am I going to have a 1 or an 8 or a 1, a 2 or a 4 or a 4 or a 2. So I've got 4 different options. Then I'm trying to make 11. Let's see if we can use some strategy again. So I know that I'm going to do outer 5 times something. Do I want to do 5 times 1 or 5 times 8, 5 times 2, or 5 times 4? Remember, I'm trying to get to 11. 5 times 2 is 10. That's pretty good. I think if I go 5 times 4, it's going to be too big and I'm going to have to subtract to get down to 11. So I think I've eliminated that option. Okay, 5 times 1 is only 5. That might work. 5 times 8 is 40. That's too big because we would have to subtract to get down there. So I've eliminated that option. Okay, so let's go back down here. 5 times 2 is 10. 4 times 1 is 4. 5 times 1 is 5. 8 times 1 is 8. Do you see which one makes 11? The top one. So I have a 1 here and an 8 there. You don't really need this one, but you do need the 8. So we can use some strategy to we know that we have all 4 options, but since we are adding those ones that were too big, we could eliminate 2 of those. And then we only had to test out, but we have to actually test them out, outer and inner, to see which one works. All right, let's look at this one. Both gonna match, both going to be subtractions. How many ways do I make 3? 1 times 3. How many ways can you make 20? Well, 1 times 20, 2 times 10, and 4 times 5. So that's why I had 3 different choices here, but with this strategy, we might not need to write them all 3 times. So I know I'm going to have 3 and 1. I know I'm going to have matching signs, and they're both going to be minuses. So let's try the 20. I could either have 1 and 20 or 20 and 1. I could have 2 times 10 or 10 times 2. I could have 4 times 5 or 5 times 4. We're still adding, and I got to make it up to 17, so I can't overshoot it and go too large. 3 times 20, too big, so I can eliminate that one. 3 times 10 is 30. I can eliminate that one. 3 times 5, that might work because that's 15. 3 times 4 might work because that's only 12. Okay, so I could only eliminate 2 with strategy. Now it's just testing them out. So let's go. Outer is 30x, inner is 20x. Well, really they're both minus signs. Does that make negative 17? Nope. Outer, negative 6x. Inner, negative 10x. Does that give me negative 17? No, it does not. Outer, negative 15x. If I use the 5, I got to go inner right here and get negative 4x, which is close. So I bet it's the very last option. Outer, 3 times 4 is negative 12. Negative 5 times this is negative, there we go. That's the winner, chicken dinner. So let's make a pretty copy of our final answer. We have 3x minus 5 and x minus 4. All right, let's look at this one. We're going to have one of each sign, and the bigger, this is going to be hard because it's not necessarily just the bigger factor, but when we're done, we need to have a negative answer. Remember, this also told us that we were subtracting the factors, subtracting the outer and inner. So what's nice is that there's only one way to make this factor, and there's only one way to make this coefficient, and there's only one way to make this guy. So 2n and n, 2n and n, 1 and 1. So why do I have these options? Remember, we need one of each sign. So the options are, does the plus go here and the minus go there? Or does the minus go here and the plus go here? No way of knowing without just trying it out. So outer, negative 2n, inner, plus 1n. Outer, positive 2n, inner, minus 1n. Which of these gives us our middle term of negative 1n? Bingo, this guy right here. So this is our answer, 2n plus 1, n minus 1. All right, let's look at this example. Do you notice anything when I point to these numbers? Anything standing out? They all have a 3 in common. If you can, you should pull out any common factors. That could mean they all have an x in common, which they don't in this question, but they could. The greatest common factor could be numbers and letters, or just numbers, or just letters. But if they have a greatest common factor, you should pull it out because it'll make it easier on you. So if I pull out a 3, what's left? Well, the first term is x squared. Second term is 5x. Last term is 6. Hey, this is both matching, both pluses. Can you already see how to get factors of 6 that'll make a 5? X plus 2, x plus 3. And I've got that 3 out in front. So hey, that made it a lot easier when I took out the greatest common factor. What can you take out of this polynomial? What is the greatest common factor? Greatest common factor is 2. What's left? 3x squared plus 11x minus 4. Now I'm going to do my 2 parentheses. I've got one of each, and when I'm done doing outer inner, I want it to be positive. There's only one way to make a 3, but there's 2 ways to make a 4. So I'm going to go ahead and stick in my 3x and my 1x. And I don't know if it's going to be plus here and minus here or the other way around. I don't know if I'm going to have a 1 and a 4 and a 1, or a 2 and a 2. So it could be minus, plus. These are, we have like, what, how many options is that? A lot of options. 6 different options. Okay, so I want 22, and I have to subtract. So I feel like I need to go big or go home. Oh no, never mind, I want 11. I don't want 22 anymore. I want 11 because I took the 2 out. Okay, still kind of am thinking, how do I get 11? Maybe 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. That's pretty close to 11 because 3 times 1 and 3 times 2. I definitely think the 1 is out. I think we could eliminate that option. I kind of am liking this 3 and 4 business, but I don't think I like the minus sign here because I need a positive 11, and this way is giving me a negative. So I think I'm going to go ahead and erase, and I think I'm going to try this 1 and 4. So I might have to try it again, but I think I'm going to put a plus 4 minus 1. Let's see if that works. Outer is positive 12x. Inner is negative 1x. Bingo! That gives me positive 11. You only have one question for this video, and it is, rate your understanding of this lesson. How are you feeling after watching this? Thumbs up, thumbs down, or somewhere in the middle?